So you're probably wondering if you should go to Asia or Africa. That's a hard decision, right? Anyway, today I'm going to give you all the reason why you should choose Asia and not East Africa. Let's get started. Natural wonders. When you talk about Asia, there are so many things that you could be wondering about. First, you have things like there in China, there's a Great Wall of China. Oh my God, who doesn't really want to go and walk over the Great Wall? Of course, it's very long and really long. And the other thing is you want to choose Himalayas mountain. There are so many adventures that you could choose there in China or in Asia. Okay, I mean like in China and in other countries like Japan. There are so many cultural shocks that you find over there. Now, for those guys who are looking for adventures in natural wonders, Asia is the only place that you could really find something of the nature that you're looking for. Delicious cuisine. Yes, exactly. Delicious food. If you're looking for good food which is traditionally made, trust me, in Asia you'll find that. Because in Asia, like the places that I've been, you could literally find some cuisine which is actually like it's not commonly seen in Africa, in Europe, in America. Like it's rare people do eat them. There's some of the things that are really sold on them, on those countries in Asia. Like in Thailand, the food that actually, oh my God, you'll be surprised the food that you're gonna find. Now, if you're a person who's looking such a thing, in Africa you can't really get such a thing. They always look like, at least if they would go, they're really far off kind of weird eating. They would go for it's like a rat I've seen, but they wouldn't go for things like frogs and stuff. So if you're really looking for really things which are actually very weird right there and you want to go for a travel, I think Asia is gonna be the best place that you should go. And people like places like Burma, there you'll find really traditional food which actually surprisingly enough you can find them. Anyway, so when you talk about the art and architecture, what else do you want to talk about? Exactly, Japan. If you've had the art and architecture in Japan, actually it's a very good place that you could really find some of the architecture which are actually surprising. It's not about Australia. I know there's that big building and stuff in Australia, but when you talk about Asia, we have a lot of buildings, a lot of Buddhists. Like there's a lot of things that you could see which are actually architecture eyes opening in Asia compared to other countries. That's why we could see like people from America would like just fly over to Asia, just see around. And apart from that, in Asia, apart from those buildings, I actually wonder why do they build those buildings over there and they don't build those buildings in their countries like Australia and USA. Do you ever wonder about that? Anyway, let me know down below if you really thought of that, because most of those buildings, architecture that you're seeing in Asia, they're built from the people who are actually outside abroad. So why are they built in Asia? I don't know, let's find out. And if you have any idea, just share me down in the comment section. Okay, this point you may have with adventure and activities. If you want to talk about adventure, trust me, you should talk about China. I think China is among the countries that really are open to like more very good adventures. If you're actually in China, I don't think if there's anything you're missing if you really want to go abroad outside of China. Personally, I would say like there's nothing you'll be missing, because I think you're getting all the foods, the traditions, all the things that you're actually not getting outside of China, they're already inside China. Though you won't get the things, the news outside of China. We have VPNs nowadays. Anyway, getting to the point is that the adventures that actually are available in Asia, they are, oh my God, like they wouldn't be available in some of the places. Though some of them, they have been copied. Most of the adventures that you find outside of China or Asia, like Japan and other countries like Thailand, most of the adventures that you'd find outside of them, outside of Asia, they have been duplicates or they started back then there in Asia. So it's kind of funny way, like if you wanna have a good travel, you should go back to the way things are made, right? You don't have to like stay in your country or probably stay around your village if you're in Africa. I mean like other places don't have a village, but they do have a village. But you should just go in the place where they originate. I think in that place or in that place where you go in Asia, that's where you're gonna get the real energy rather than those people who actually copied from the originals. I think you get my point, right? Shopping, exactly. In Asia, we have a lot of countries that actually generate their own materials. A lot of goods that are made in Asia, specifically China. I know most people will be saying, why am I talking about China so much? But actually here, yes, China has a lot of goods that are generating. So the thing is that if you shop from Asia and when you're inside Asia, of course, when you're in Asia, the things that they get to you so quickly, and apart from that, the things are so cheap. Who doesn't want cheap things? I don't want cheap things, but of quality which is actually not that bad, like at least a good quality. So if you're in Asia, you would rather choose that of Asia compared to Africa. I'm not going to be comparing like Africa and Asia here, or I'm just gonna say like the whole Asia and other continent. So if you kind of take a look, like it's 100 times you could go to Asia because of the way the shopping is there, because the way the systematic things are arranged and the way you would just get the stuffs and get the things done, it's much more convenient compared to other places. I know the Americans are actually saying no, like they would keep up with that, but sincerely, if you go to Asia, like who doesn't want to buy food from vending machines? They're so cheap, right? Like there's no point of you not to like buy things from Asia. The shopping itself, the groceries, always cheap over there. Unless you're going to the super mall, which it's everywhere in the world, so you're gonna get expensive, right? Yeah, things are gonna be expensive. Festivals. Exactly, you had me right. Festivals. So most of the people who actually go to Asia, they either go to work, study, or probably travel. Am I right? Work, travel, study. In among those things. So if you're actually going to Asia for those three things, here is something that you need to hear. In Asia, we have a lot of festivals. Guess what comes with festivals? As a traveler, it's a good advantage, which is always there. But once you're a studying person, or you're going to study, or you're going to work, Asia, festivals, two things that bind together. Bind together. So what it is when you have a festival, they have a holiday. You know, it's a holiday, nobody's going to work, so you're going to have a holiday. That means you're going to have a lot of festivals, so there are a lot of holidays compared to outside of Asia. So if you're actually a person who is in Asia right now, you already know that what's taking place. You already know that right now we have a festival coming up, and if you want to know more about that festival, make sure to subscribe because I'll be talking about it. So that's the thing. If you choose to other countries or other continent, these festivals are going to be very less. I think we have almost done more than 100 festivals in Asia. Did you know about that? I didn't know, but now I know. You know too. So literally, there's so many things that you don't know about Asia, so be sure to subscribe to know about Asia anyway. So I think that would be a reason for you to go to Asia, because if you go as a tourist, you really want less of the festivals because you're going to be traveling always. Doesn't really matter. But the point is, if you're going for studying or work, that means you have festivals, and when you have festivals, you're not going to work. You're going to relax and get paid. Who doesn't want that? I don't want to get paid and just live. Just rest. So this is kind of awkward. I came up with this point, but it's a spiritual journey. Okay, I will explain spiritual journey. What I mean is, for those people who are actually looking forward to get a spiritual quest, for example, those are actually Buddhism. Yeah, Asia would be really a good place for that. But if you're not really a person of that, this could be a weak point, and I understand I'm not going to explain so much, but the main point is, if you're a spiritual person, you do like Buddhas, if you like yogas and stuff, if you like I've forgotten the name of the other thing that they do, the other religion. But if you're a fan of the religion part, I think Asia is gonna be the place. If you're a Muslim, there are those countries which are actually there, like Pakistan and others. So if you're a big person who is really interested into that, so you think the religion should be dragging you there. If you really want things of religion, where I think that's gonna be a good place to travel around, because you're gonna meet so many things which are actually religious, and you're gonna feel like you're in a quest to accomplish something. Yeah, a quest to accomplish something. But if you're not interested in that, then I think you should just get yourself to any country around that, or even actually you can go just outside your place and just go and explore. You didn't know that you haven't explored your own country anyway, so I reminded you that. So one of the things that I talk about, which is very, very, very sensitive, hospitality. Yes, hospitality. So when I talk about hospitality, it's the way people are welcoming. A good example is in Africa. I want to talk about something which is very, very bad. I'm sorry to everyone who's actually watching this from Africa, but I'm gonna say it. So when you're in Africa, you can't record. I think this is a complaint that I've been complaining in so many videos, but I'll just make sure. You can record yourself in public, but in Asia, guess what? Who cares? Make your freaking vlog or whatever you're recording, you're thinking something, saying to the camera, nobody cares. Like, you can do whatever you want in Asia, but literally if you come in Africa, I haven't seen that in America, but if you do that, if you're in Africa, hell no, you can't, because people will be like, you should stop that, camera is not allowed, we already know the camera is not allowed, so thank you. So the point is, if you do that, if you're in Africa, this year, because you're currently in Africa, it's gonna be a pain in the head. So if you're actually in Asia, hospitality, the way the people are welcoming you, like the people will be friendly, they want to speak to you. So compared to here, no, they just look like, oh my god, you're a foreigner, they want your money. What's the point of that? That's dumb, man. So like in Africa, that's what's happening. But in Asia, if you go to Asia, if you're in Asia, they are very warmly welcoming people, and they're not thinking of money based. Like they more promote their culture rather than the money issue. So if you actually go on there, or if you're there watching this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, because Asia is the only place you're gonna have fun rather than Africa. I see it already. I compared already. Okay, I didn't mean to compare, but that's just the truth. Yeah. So one last point that I really want to mention out is affordability. Now when you're actually in Asia, you can really buy so many things and actually in a very cheap way. I know some of the people will be complaining because their currency is low, like certain countries there nearby in our country, it has a very low currency to the extent that you can even hold $1 million in cash. If that kind of makes sense. $1 million in cash. Yes, that's what happens. So in countries that have got low currency rate, if that kind of makes sense, if you go to Asia, you're gonna see it's gonna be expensive. But if you compare to other countries that are actually having a normal rate of currency, I should say, they don't see it as a high budget countries, because with them, from their countries and in Asia, it's much more cheaper. So if you take that into consideration, your countries like South Africa, and you're getting out of money from your payment. And if you go to some places like Asia, you're gonna have fun. The currency budget, daily budget is gonna be very low, like very really, because there's street food, there's some food that you can make, and trust me, when you're in Asia, you could live on street food only the whole day, only the whole week, without even thinking of cooking, compared to if you're in Africa, you gotta cook. So with that said, you have less money to spend, you have spent less money compared if you're actually cooking. That kind of makes sense. So if you're in Asia, just buy street food and survive, because if you cook, you're gonna lose a lot of money. That kind of, but it's the vice versa when you're in Africa. Oh my god, why am I even comparing this video like Asia and Africa so much? But anyway, that's the point. In Asia, the things are very cheap. So if you want cheap things and which are actually of good quality, not like here, oh my god, I'm comparing again. In Asia, of good quality and a little bit of a price. Hey, you get your good stuff of good quality and you're done. So thank you guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. For those guys who are interested, you can share this video or subscribe, and I'll be pleasure to see more people coming in. And I'm so glad. I've kind of realized that people like these videos when I'm talking compared to when I just keep the voiceover. So I'll be rolling with it. I'll be throwing those videos of talking over and trying to tell you what I know and sharing. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and until we meet again, see you next time. Check my other videos over here and here. And bye bye. See ya.